Welcome to this published author's interview. My name is Kenneth Muyingo, and with me I have a special guest that I will be interviewing today. First, I just want to mention, if you watch this interview and you would like to write a book yourself and become an author, there's a link with the interview. Click on the link to join the group, become an author, and write your first book to connect with like-minded people who are doing the same. And with that said, I would like to get into the interview by asking my guest to say hello to you and to introduce herself to you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Hannah Kennedy.
Yes, Hannah, thank you for making time for the interview. I'm
Thank you for having
excited
me.
about this. And tell us about yourself. If somebody is watching this interview and they would like to know more about Hannah Kennedy, what can you share with them?
I'm an Air Force wife and mom, and I struggle with having autism, ADHD, anxiety, and being bipolar, and I struggle every day. But one way I cope is through writing.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Thank you for sharing. So you struggle with ADHD, bipolar, and anxiety?
Yeah, autism, ADHD, anxiety, and being bipolar.
Wow. And you cope with this through writing?
Yes, that's one way.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm curious. I want to hear more about this. So you have recently published a book. Tell us about the book that you most recently published and the vision.
The one that I most recently published is live now as of last night, actually. But the one that is like my life story is called Beautycorn.
Wow.
Tales and Triumphs of an Autistic Girl.
Beautycorn, Tales and Triumphs of an Autistic Girl.
Yes.
Wow, and this is your life story.
Yeah, my life story. It tells about all my, it's written in poem style, and like tells about my struggles, but also my triumphs in having autism.
I see. Wow. And tell us about this book, Beautycorn. What inspired you? What's the vision that you had for this book, if I may ask?
Well, I first got inspired to write a book because my husband was writing a book, and I was like, I want to do that. So then I thought, what could I write about? And I've written poems about having autism and bipolar and stuff before. Like, one poem I wrote about was my hands hitting, not having control of my hands, and sometimes when I get anxious or mad, or really mostly anxious, if it gets really bad, I hit myself, and I wrote a poem about it, and that kind of inspired me to write about having autism because I figured maybe people could relate. I was hoping my dream for this book is that it could help people.
Wow, that is very courageous of you. And thank you so much for being willing to use your experience to help other people, because it's very courageous of you. Thank you so much for doing that. And so you said that it is your husband that inspired you to write the book. He was writing a book and then you started to write as well.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's amazing. And how did you choose the topic for the book? Because you said that earlier you were writing some poems about autism, and then when you decided to write the book, was there sort of like a journey in choosing the topic for the book, or was it straightforward for you?
It kind of just came to me where I figured I've written poems about it before, and I've like how autism affects me.
Yeah.
And I figured I could write a whole book about it. And my husband helped me by reading all my poems, and I put them together, and yeah.
Wow. Amazing. And if somebody is watching this interview and they are struggling with autism themselves and they would like to have a tip from you, what one tip
Um,
could you share with them from your experience of writing this book and with what you know about autism?
Honestly, I'm still learning about my autism every day. Even though I only got diagnosed a few years ago, and no one told me what it was about or why I struggle. Even after being diagnosed, it was only my husband. Like the I almost 2 years together with my husband, and he's the one who taught me everything about autism. I would say do research, try therapy because therapy has helped me a lot. And when I get anxious, something that helps me is to take deep breaths and to just center yourself and think this isn't that big of a problem. Maybe I can solve it a different way, or I'm overthinking this.
Yeah. Oh, so it helps you just relax and just become more centered.
Yeah, and if you're having what I call breakdowns or like panic attacks, it really helps if you have hopefully you have somebody, but like say you have a spouse or a friend you can go over to their house or have them come over, give them a hug and talk about it.
I see. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. And you mentioned another book that you published last night.
I did. I
Can
published
you
my
tell us
first
about
no
that one?
yeah, I published my first novella last night.
Wow. You published
It's
your first novella last night. Can you tell us about that? What's the title of the book?
It's called Comic Con Love.
Comic-Con Love. Wow,
Yes.
exciting title. Tell
Thank
us,
you.
tell us about this one. I'm curious. Comic-Con Love.
So it's a book that's probably the audience is probably young adult or adult. Um, it's basically a fictionalized version of me and my husband.
Amazing. Wow. Very, very creative. And you came up with this. Maybe I'm curious, how long did it take you to write the book itself?
To write Comic Con Love, took me a couple weeks, but I had to he had to go back and edit and format,
Yeah,
and then it took a few days to actually publish, and I'm still waiting on the paperback to be published, but
yeah,
the ebook is live.
amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is wonderful. And so you published BeautyCon and then Comic-Con Love. Do you consider yourself as a naturally talented writer, or is writing a skill that you have developed over time?
That would probably depend on who you ask, because if you ask our mom, then she said you have raw natural talent, or if you ask like a couple of our friends, then they're like, oh, you have a raw natural talent. Like I wrote one book that was for adults only because it was a book of sexy erotica poems, and they're like, you have a raw talent of writing erotica. And so I like to write all genres, obviously.
Wow. And there is
And
another book
yeah,
about,
I actually technically I have one, two, three, four. This is my fifth book.
wow, that's amazing, Hannah. Keep going.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is quite exciting. And so when your friends refer to you, they would say you have natural talent for writing in the other
I
genre.
think so. And I mean, I personally think it's something I developed over time and maybe a little naturally talented,
Yeah,
but I learn every day how to be better. Like, my husband teaches me how to publish and edit my stuff every day.
yeah,
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't know this,
yeah,
but I'm learning.
yeah. Wow. It does help to have a partner who's supportive and helpful in it. Wow.
He's very supportive and helpful.
Amazing, amazing. Um, when you look back on your journey, 5 books, Hannah, what would you tell me is the one thing that has happened to you personally that has had the greatest impact on you writing books?
Uh, well, I like hearing like I posted my book on like book groups, Beauty Corn, and several people have commented that they liked it a lot, and a couple of people said they had autism or they knew somebody that had autism, and it really helped them. And they said one lady said, "Thank you so much for this book," and posted it on her page,
Wow.
and I got a couple of people to get it, and they're like, "Wow, thank you for being brave and sharing your story." And that has really helped me become a more confident writer, and just showed me that I can write more and to not stop.
Indeed. Wow. It's very well said. I'm reminded of, there's another interview I had a couple of days back with another lady in London. And she said, the way she said it is, the books that we write have been given to us, but we don't need them so much as the world outside. That, so when we are willing to bring it out of us and give it to the world, some people are going to find inspiration, other people are going to find encouragement, other people are going to find hope and faith. And it's just through the pages of the material that we put out there. And I see exactly what you mean when you get these messages of people who are saying, thank you so much for sharing this. Wow.
That's my whole goal when I wrote Beauty Corn, is to help people who struggle with autism like me, or who struggle with anything, like especially mental related,
Yeah.
because I know what it's like, and my husband also knows what it's like because he has really bad anxiety,
Yeah.
and I just want to help people and show them that they're not alone, and hopefully they can relate and it helps them.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for doing that, Hannah. And so Love Comic-Con is out. You published
Yes,
that.
Comic Con
Yeah.
Love is out
Comic-Con
in live.
Live is out and it's live on online. You published it yesterday. Are you thinking about writing number 6 somewhere?
I'm not. Well, actually, I have a book. I'm currently writing a book of short stories.
Nice. Wow.
It's called A Monkey's Tale.
A lucky style.
Yes.
Wow. Exciting. They just keep coming out. They just keep coming out. And I'm
Yeah.
curious, do you ever struggle with ideas for writing books?
Yes. 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 I struggle with ideas like all the time. Like we look up writing prompts and for writing contests and such, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Wow.
It's a struggle.
Wow, I see what you mean. But I think you are doing great. 5 books, Hannah, that's wonderful. And number 6 is on the horizon.
Yes, it's being written as we speak.
Nice. Keep writing. And this has been very insightful and very inspiring indeed. And I know that our viewers and listeners will find it equally inspiring and encouraging. I'm wondering, how can people connect with you? If someone watches this interview and they would like to connect with Hannah, how can they connect with you?
Through my Facebook page, I have an author page, HR Kennedy, or just my regular Hannah Kennedy page on Facebook.
Very nice. We'll put those links with the interview. And then my next question is, where can people buy your books?
Amazon.com.
Amazon.com. So
They
all
just have to
5
search.
books can be accessed on Amazon.com.
Yes, they are. A Puppy Finds a Home, which is only ebook form because it wasn't short enough for paperback.
Yeah.
Let's see, what was it? Sexy Time, book of erotica and love poems by H.R.X. Kennedy.
Yeah.
And Beauty Corn, H.R. Kennedy, Triumphs an Autistic Girl, and Comic Con Love, Okay, so I guess technically that's 4. This is my 4th book.
Wow.
Comic-Con Love by H.R. Kennedy.
Wow, very nice. We will be putting the links as well with
Oh wait, and there's also A Love Story for the Ages. So that is my 5th book.
Love Story for the Ages. That's your
Yes, a book of love poems dedicated to my husband.
wow, very nice. Very nice. And this has been very wonderful, Hannah. I'm so glad that we made time for it. And before I
Yeah.
end the interview, I was just wondering, is there anything else that you would like to share
Uh,
in the interview?
well, I just hope that people see the interview and then maybe read my books. And if you do, I'd appreciate either leaving a review on Amazon or even directly messaging me on Facebook telling me how much you love the book or if it's helped you. I love hearing feedback, especially good feedback. So I really, especially if I know it helps somebody, I would really appreciate that and it would make my day. So
Yes.
just basically try to get readers to message me if they liked it and how it's helped them.
Wow, thank you so much, Hannah. We will be sure putting the links with the interview, and I will be sure keeping in touch with you. And I will
Awesome.
send you my feedback too as soon as I've read the book.
Thank you.
Welcome.